amazing. She's an amazing CEO, and she's been featured in as a Fortune 500 CEO and leader. And she is going to launch a new book next year, starting in January, talking to entrepreneurs. And we love to have her here. Welcome, Elona, and hello, Tammy. How are you?
Good morning,
Thank
and
you
good
so
morning to all
much.
our guests who are here also, and welcome, Elona. And I just want to make sure everybody's likes and loves us, and please comment or ask questions. I'm so excited to have Elona here. It's been a little bit since we had spoke, but she is an amazing lady. So excited to have you, Elona.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's nice to reconnect and hope that we will serve the audience watching and listening here as well. And yeah, while encouraging conversation, I always think those are the best spaces to be part of. So thanks so much for having me here, both Lori and you, Tammy.
Oh,
Yay. You're
I'm
welcome.
excited. And we have a lot of our guests actually watch later on and comment. So make sure you come back and everybody can leave their comments and we'll try to always answer those. So, but could you tell us a little about yourself, where you came from, where you're living now, just so our audience has an idea?
Yeah, I'll give a little backstory. I always, because I also interview a lot of guests in my community, I always talk about that because I think it's important to mention some of the most meaningful moments that led us to the journey, right? Because otherwise, there's no context of why we even talk about certain topics or do the work we do, right? So it's the same with me. I moved here in New York 25 years ago, so from Albania, Eastern Europe, and the American dream. I saw my parents struggle very early on. So I think that shaped a lot of my personality. I was pretty much dictated or kind of not dictated, but kind of just given that blueprint of the American dream, get a successful degree, a successful career, and then live happily ever after, get married, 2 kids, 2.5 kids, a dog, and white picket fence. That's pretty much what I chased for 15 years, thinking that that was going to make me happy because that's kind of what I thought would make me happy. So I did that, graduated business management and finance, climbed the corporate ladder, 15 years in the retail industry, Fortune 500 company. I was very happy for very many years, actually, because the company was in growth mode. However, there came a time where they were acquired by another company. The culture turned very toxic. So I did different roles with them: marketing, sales, HR, executive leadership, my latest one, until I started looking for something else because I no longer felt that whatever I was doing was contributing to something or there was no future there. Meanwhile, I was growing my little family, was married, 2 kids, and all of that. So I think the conflict rose when really, the career that I thought was supposed to make me happy on the outside was no longer making me fulfilled. So then I started questioning a lot of things and being like, well, is there all there is to life? What else do I want to do? Do I want to do another 9 to 5? I started feeling a lot of inner conflict. That's kind of where my personal development journey started, to kind of figure out my newfound values so that I can start redefining my life and the values that were important to me, not what was handed to me very early on. So that's kind of how I ventured out into the journey of entrepreneurship. I never thought I would be an entrepreneur. I have no entrepreneurs in my family. I don't even know what the path looked like 5 years ago. So fast forward now, that is what I do. I did some executive coaching to start with, and then some career coaching because I still felt I was in the corporate space and I was like a child screaming to kind of taste the big wide world and see, what I wanted to do. And as of the last 3 years, I've been CEO and founder of the Life School, where now I help purpose-driven entrepreneurs just like myself that ventured out, and have chosen this path rather than the traditional, get a degree, work under someone else's umbrella. We'd rather build our own umbrella and use our purpose, experience, skills, all those things that we have gained along our journey to now do more good in the world and help other people with it and align not only their purpose with it, but also obviously make money with it as well, because we need to do that so that we can sustain this lifestyle. So that's kind of how I got here.
That's a great intro. Thanks for sharing your journey. And it's amazing how you were pretty successful and pretty content with what you were doing, except for you paused to evaluate like, hey, is there more to this? And that is the spirit of us entrepreneurs, business owners, and people that want to go rogue, want to go solo, and in a way that is like different from the current, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. We need corporate people. We need people that support the companies out there, etc., except for the ones that feel that calling to do something different and something more, right? It's just amazing how if you heed to that call, it's for the brave and the courageous, and you've done that. So being the CEO of the life school, Elona, and Tammy and I were telling you like, hey, our pillars are productivity, possibility, and positivity. Like, how do you, because the life school, that's a huge name that you like, it encompasses a lot. And me as a life coach, I understand that we want to help people in their life in general, but then at the same time, how do you narrow it down, and how have you been able to impart some positivity to the people, to your clients, your students that enroll in that life school?
Yeah, I love your question, because a lot of people ask me about that, because most of my work is, helping people grow their businesses to make more impact and income. Everybody's like, what's the connection with the life school? So that actually came to me through my personal development journey in one of my downloads in one of the meditations that I had. And I realized that entrepreneurship, just from the journey that I've kind of encountered it now, and just meeting so many more people that are, pretty much have chosen the path that I've chosen, I realized it's just like school, not like traditional school. A lot of the things in traditional school we don't actually get taught, right? So how to have conversations, how to communicate, how to create our own lives, how to clarify our vision, how to start, identifying our talents, how to grow personally, right? All these different things that I never found in traditional school. I've kind of just had that idea that life is just like a school. We learn and grow every day. We're students and we're teachers. Whatever we learn, we want to share it. So I guess we become a teacher, and then whatever is it that we need to learn and grow, we also get back to the other position as a student. So we're always switching back and forth between this journey. So I said, okay, I want to be a lifelong student for life, because life and experience is really what we have in this, world. And the more experience we gain, the more it becomes a responsibility. We share it with others and spread that positivity or experience, right? So that other people can have that answer to something that maybe took us years to kind of figure it out and overcome something that maybe they might be going through a similar, challenge in their lives, whether it's their business, their personal life, their health, their relationships, right? All the different areas. And I have such a holistic approach to business. And I wish I probably would rewrite the new book of business, meaning doing business consciously, not the way that traditionally we're taught to actually grow a traditional business. Because I've had a lot of those trainings from my corporate career, so I'm able to see a lot of that and kind of now, bring in a lot of new insight to how purpose-driven businesses can actually grow. So, taking that holistic approach, that I don't think that we should just business. We should focus on the rest of the areas of our life. And, entrepreneurship, just like life, I can't even tell the difference between my personal life and my business at the end of the day, because it's so important to me that I'm going to prioritize my health. I'm going to prioritize my relationships. I'm going to prioritize my personal spiritual growth, mental health, all these different things that I think are important as an entrepreneur. So that is where that name came from, and it kind of inspired me to even expand the vision later on beyond business. So I've always knew that I was this visionary girl, big dreamer. The positivity factor always comes in the fact that I think, I'm just a curious, like enthusiastic person. Like to me, it's always like, what could be, rather than look at some of the limits. And, obviously the limits are there and we can overcome. And I think the more we raise our awareness as people, as human beings, the more we can start to see that those limits are just, the limits we put on ourselves. So, and then the productivity piece, I'm very strong at operations, meaning, productivity to me means purposeful, right? It's not so much about being a human machine of doing
right.
do that and do that. I've learned this the very hard way. It's about being purposeful. Even if you intentionally have set 1 to 2, 3 activities in your day-to-day that are going to move you forward faster to that vision and mission that you have for your life, those are going to, take you further than just being busy and productive and just be doing things all over the place, because our culture, does unfortunately, feed us with this stuff. And now that we have so much distraction, I think it's sometimes we get lost in the I must do the next and the next and the next, without ever giving ourselves time to be in the being, and then get joy from the process of us becoming that future version of the self that we want to be as we realize our potential. So it's bigger than, it's always bigger than just the business sense of things. But for me, at least, it's kind of how I combine them. And then just to, answer your question, how do I hope I am that, person that does, trickle down. The more I am positive, the more I stay grounded, the more I do my inner work, I find that is the energy that I get to radiate to others. I don't know how it transfers. Obviously, people receive it, many different ways. But that's why I also love to do the speaking piece in my business, because to me, that's the way that I get to share knowledge that I think now it's my duty to share. Maybe someone else might need to hear it. So maybe that's another way that I spread positivity. I'm not sure.
Well, I think you're positive.
I
so
feel it.
I totally feel it. But I want to throw this out there just because we had this question coming up this morning. We were talking about this morning. Is somebody asked, what is entrepreneurship? Which is a person who undertakes the risk of starting a new business venture is called an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur creates a firm to realize their idea, known as entrepreneurship, which aggregates capital and labor in order to produce goods or services for profit. In other words, to make it simple for everybody, it's when you own your own company, when you are your own boss, the owner, of Amazon, you think of all these big companies, everybody else goes to work for these companies. We're the ones starting these companies. That's what an entrepreneur does, is they start their own business. They use their music, their arts, their talents, their gifts to start their own business so that they can hire others to help to express their visions or what they see as to help others. It's like Elona said, she did it to help others. Also, it's helping ourselves, helping us to create our jobs, our ideas, that come to light, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Tammy, I agree with you. And I'm sure Elona has also a lot to say about this, that we know, and we as consumers, we value, XYZ product that makes our life more convenient, fast, better, comfortable, right? A popcorn popper, for example, it's a silly example, but a popcorn popper, it's just makes my life happy here when I'm watching a movie at home, because it's just like the theater at home, right? But then also this things that we are selling or that we are promoting is also very important, even though they're not very tangible, like a product, like the popcorn popper, for example. But like Elona has, what you and I have, Tammy, is just some things that are life-changing, and they're manifested, the results manifest in so many different ways that is so hard to explain. So what do you have to say, Elona, about what you promote, what you sell as an entrepreneur, and versus when you were a corporate person and you're in entrepreneurship now, how fulfilling it is?
Yeah, I've learned to simplify entrepreneurship for myself as well, because at the beginning, again, it was just a big term, and there's so many ways to build a business, and it was just a new field. Not that I didn't know how to build someone else's business, but when you go out on your own, I can absolutely understand how confusing this journey could be for a lot of people. And I've learned to boil it down very simply: solving a problem for people.
Exactly.
Solve a problem. Pick the thing that you solve for yourself or that you really feel passionate about in the world, and you have a specific process to be able to solve it. Whether you put that in a product or a service, that is that's how you're going to figure out how do I actually give the transformation to someone, whether just
Amazing.
like you both mentioned, whether now I might design, product that maybe, I don't know, pops popcorn faster, or, does it by just like simply by just, throwing it in there and then I have my popcorn ready, right? So looking at what's out there in the world and choosing based on your own experience, your own creative idea, your own vocation, right? A problem that you really feel compelled to solve. That's it. I say if you just focus on that, then that's how you know. And that's how I knew I wanted to be in the service space, because I said I have a lot of knowledge and expertise. I also realize I'm very strong at leadership and I have a lot of strong business acumen. So that's the problem I want to solve. I want to help other people with growing their businesses and leveling up their leadership so they can scale, so they can find more of the people they want to solve the problem for and just carry on with the world and do more good in the world, solve that problem and use that as the thing that you build. And of course, over time, you can't just do it by yourself if you want to continue to help more people. So that's where you have the need for, okay, so now how do I systematize some things and how do I hire some people to help me and all of that. So it just becomes that kind of thing. But yeah, very simply put, that's how I learned it fast. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now. Solve a problem. We're problem solvers. That's all we're doing.
Exactly. I
love
love that. But what's funny is it's like whenever you say, hey, I'm going to do this, or, or as ours, I have heard this so many times. You're crazy. You should be working for somebody. Everybody always, it's because of the way our schools are built. It's you should always work for somebody else. They teach us, the kids, you put them in school, they have to learn this way. They can't, even though we learn in so many different ways, but it's like, you have to learn this way. You have to work for somebody. You have to move up the corporate ladder. But they forget is who's up at the top. It's the people that own these business. They own the ideas that were there. Like you said, Elona, they were there to solve a problem. And that's how things are created, is by these people that are actually thinking outside the box. So thank you for sharing that. I love that term. So
it's very simple. It's a very simple and on point. There's a problem. So my thing, my passion project right now is I want to help parents and teenagers to connect and communicate better. And then Tammy's like, she wants people to get out there and go on ventures and find healing with art and nature. And Elona, you want people to love what they do and market it, right? So
yeah, so for me, it's helping others create impact. But see, you both have a problem that you're passionate about solving, just like with the articulation, the way you said that. So that is what it is. And my purpose and mission is to help people align their purpose with profits so that they can do more good in the world. Because usually people that have start to create a profitable business will take that money and they will contribute towards a cause, or they will hire more people. So now employ much more people, many more people under their umbrella, or they get to transform and solve more problems for their clients. So all these different multiplication effects of me helping one CEO, one owner get that, spread that impact in the world. It's how I feel I'm in service and why I was created, based on my gifts, my talents, and my experience as well. So I love that Tammy also does the creative part also, because I think that's another piece that's very, entrepreneurship does allow you, this journey now that we talked about how to look at it, does allow you to tap into that creativity, because no, we are not taught this stuff in school. We're taught this stuff in the school of life, to be creative. And the more we kind of test new things, I love music myself, and I'm creating, I write poems and things like that. I have a lot of creative outlets that I also discover daily. And a lot of these things, you can put them inside the business as well, because nowadays that's the world we're living in. So yeah, you don't have to limit yourself anymore. And this is just how you're able to make it happen. And this is, for now, this is the model that we have. Maybe there's going to be another model with AI happening. I don't know, but the future is always evolving, and we're going to see how that unfolds. But for now, we only have those two models. You work for someone, you work for yourself, and you do this and you problem solve for others via your business, or you problem solve for others via a role in a position. You really, even when you work for somebody, you're doing the same thing. You're
Right.
solving that problem based on the role, and you're adding value based on that. So that's it. That's all you're doing. Obviously, you don't have all the rest of the pieces when you are your own founder, but you're technically we always get paid and compensated for adding value to the world.
Wonderful. And even AI, Elona, needs the human touch, right? So,
Well,
so
that's what prompt engineering is. Basically, we're telling AI what we want to create
Mhm.
or how to write it. So, which I've been taking classes on that and studying for the last several months also. But yeah, you just keep your own person there too, when you are writing. So it's all on all the wording and stuff. Exactly. But what I love about Elona is you mentioned the fact that we are learning every day. And when you're not, I think it was a quote, I just saw it the other day, was, when you stop learning, that's when you're dying.
Mhm.
Yeah, process of evolution.
Yes, I want to say hello to Olivia Smith. She's been watching. So Olivia, if you want to have a comment, a question for Elona, this is the time, or even later, I'm sure Elona will be happy to answer. Tell us where you're connecting from, Olivia. And we're looking forward to having you live with us,
Yes.
Olivia. But I know your time is valuable, Elona. I know you have another commitment, and we appreciate the fact that you made time to be here with us today in a busy season of the year, etc., to share your value. It's amazing what you do. Thank you for your example and leading by example as an entrepreneur and sharing with us.
Yeah, no, it's the one thing that gives me joy and fulfillment to be able to share my message. So I want to thank you for setting this up. And I always say the power of impact, even if one person has taken away something from this, then it served the mission of why all three of us are here. So
Exactly.
Wonderful.
So on another note, what do you enjoy doing? So I'm gonna, we're gonna give you keep you on for 5 more minutes, just in case there's a question. But what do you enjoy to do for fun? It sounds like you like to do poetry and.
Yeah, that is what I'm doing, and I love to do for fun. I write poems. I written them when I was 13. I kind of have gone back to them, especially with the work I do with messaging and branding. Is kind of has sparked that creativity back in me, and then intuitive power to kind of connect, messages and different things that I think. It's pretty much getting a message and sharing it through a poem, because I really think that people resonate with that, in a different way, and also putting that into a song. So I've composed songs with my poems that really do the same thing as I'm doing via speaking. I'm just now adding another huge element, which is music, for that message to come through to people so that they can remember it, and then hopefully they get inspired by that to create action in their work, in their day-to-day as well. So that is what I do on the creative side for now, that I focus on. I also like drawing. I do like that as well. I think it's another creative activity.
I love that. And when does your new book come?
So Purpose-Driven Leadership is coming out on January 4th, 2024. 3 weeks.
Oh my goodness, so exciting.
Awesome. So make sure you post it on our Monday marketing day underneath that topic. So our guests, if they want to purchase, they can. So I love that. So, and you'll have to share some of your poems occasionally on our site. So, because if they're we love having positive poems, or anything inspiring or encouraging posted on our Facebook group page. So
Tammy and I we're quote junkies. We love quotes. And then also, yes, it will be such an honor if you share your content in the form of poems. Congratulations for tapping into that creativity, Elona. And that's what we want to encourage our viewers. The majority of people in this group are business owners, and we want to, this is why we're here, Tammy and I, this is why Elona is here, to inspire you to be, to explore your possibilities and being productive and being positive. So, and then with our experiences that we're going to host pretty soon, and we have already hosted, we want you to discover, to experience those experiences deeply and to transform. So that is our message. We're happy that you were here, Elona. And then we know this is a season time of the year. Remember those boundaries we talked about last week. Remember to prioritize and to enjoy. Remember the reason of this season and enjoy the holiday season and Christmas season, however you celebrate. We want to wish you the best. Like Tammy said, we're not going to be here next week. We want to honor our families. We want to honor your time and your family so that you can celebrate. And then we'll get back in the new year. The week Elona is going to have her book.
Which we are actually going to have an author that week too. So
yeah, I would also love to invite your whoever resonates with this message to my community, the life school community, and that way they get also, I've created a lot of different spaces for people to just share their passion, share their creative outlets, share their vocation in the world is what I call it at the end of the day. Because I really think that once we discover it, then the next step is to share it with others. Because I mean, you know, we can't keep all these things to ourselves. Because then you don't get the multiplication of the impact that you get to create with it. So that's also my community, and I'd love to invite people on that as well.
I love that. Thank you. So people don't realize connections, how much it means. You know, it's like you and I connected, I believe it was through Corey Minkus, my coach, is how I met you, you know, but it's like, I try to connect with different people all the time because connections is how we make it and how we survive in this world, and becoming friends and just the kindness shown. And I actually just love learning from everybody. Just the different quotes and the different things. I do read all your stuff. I don't always put like, I try to put like, because I know that helps you so much. Because I'm learning from you, you know, just the little things that you post. So thank you so much for being here. And I just really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Connections where everything is at the end of the day, we want to collaborate with one another, and we all bring such a unique aspect. Maybe it's the leadership part that I know so well, but at least it was what I've seen, because even with companies that I work for, I've seen that the most diverse cultures, the ones that collaborate, are the ones that are the most, you know, effective and are, you know, productive, since we talked about that word today as well. But connection is the name of the game, and nurturing relationships, being in this for the long term, and also adding value and being in service. At least those are just my principles, and you know, I try to live them by daily. But I think connection is where magical piece of the journey of entrepreneurship is, or even just in general. I mean, even personal relationships, we get a lot of joy out of that. So, you know, as humans, that's very important. So thanks again for having me, and I wish you all good luck and happy holidays to everybody. And yeah, great stuff coming up for sure. So I wish everybody a prosperous 2024.
Oh,
Wonderful.
thank you so much. Happy holidays, everyone. We're going to say goodbye. Have a great Christmas.
Bye-bye.